Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya. Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम् हरे कृष्ण Krishna in Gita explaining Arjuna a beautiful synopsis which is perceived only through that intimate connection, the bhajan which we just discussed. It's all about pure loving relationships among Lord and his devotees. So likewise Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra was completely baffled up. We all know that he was totally baffled. But his bafflement did not keep him in depression, but rather his bafflement gave an opportunity to completely submit himself to the Lord. Yesterday I was talking to my friend after many years. Then she's in a she's in a situation which everyone goes through. These days, dear devotees, especially whenever I'm touching any of my earlier friends, they have some problem or the other. And she also has a problem. She doesn't have a job since 4 or 5 months. She's kind of worried. She's crying when she's alone. Slowly, in an impersonal way, trying to get some motivation through some quotes, through some inspirational words. Because through the quotes, through the inspirational words, she or anyone in this world will not have any relationship with that particular person who is speaking. The person who is speaking, we should first develop relationship with him. Otherwise, there is no point actually. She's telling me, I aspire to understand whoever some inspirational words are there. It gives solace, but somehow it stops again. I don't feel that inspiration after a day or two. It's a very clear indication that there is no relationship. It's only on a knowledge platform. Please understand this. One should actually find that person for sure and then develop a relationship with him and then hear from him, understand him. We should inquire from him, how did you come out of this? How are you practicing? How are you able to do this every day? How are you able to surrender? How are you able to give this up? How are you able to become free from money, women, and wealth? both are money and wealth are same. How are these things happening? And how are you able to practice Krishna consciousness to the core of the heart? And then what's inspiring you to take this process more? This is an intelligent person. I remember when I first met my spiritual master, he gave this many years back. He told this in the class. This is how you need to inquire. Because it is very logical on the lines of how Arjuna is inquiring to Krishna. Because Arjuna tells Krishna, even though through that relationship, he says, Krishna, why are you? You can kill the demon Madhu, and then you've been called as Madhusudan because you have killed them. Now you are asking me to kill my family members. What is that? You are killing those people, and then you are asking me to kill these people? You're asking me to kill Dronacharya, who gave me training. He's not technically a spiritual master, but he trained me up in military science. You're asking me to kill these personalities. What is this? What kind of dharma is this? So Arjuna's inquiry is very logical. It's not illogical. Actually, we'll see a difference also. On one side, Arjuna is inquiring, and on the other side, he says, Krishna, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Now, what is Krishna doing? Krishna is not speaking to Arjuna actually. He's completely quiet because the Lord will not reciprocate to a sadhaka until the sadhaka comes to this state. What is that state? You see, the elderly gopis, they're saying Govinda, Madhava. They're doing their duties, but in between they're telling like this because they're completely absorbed in that. But for those devotees, even Lord, when he reciprocates, he feels that it is less. It's on a different plane actually. That's why these poems are the PhD, dear devotees. They're the PhD level. These bhajans are PhD. Sometimes it gives us bewilderment. What is this? She's supposed to work, but she's not working. She's supposed to work, but she's chanting Govinda, Madhava. When people do not have work, they cry. But these personalities are not like that. And then she told me an important aspect. She said, yes, I'm getting some inspiration, but somehow that is not moving forward. Then a beautiful example of Prahlad Maharaj will always come into discussion. No, Prahlad Maharaj was in the midst of so many difficulties, dear devotees. His father became his enemy. Not just enemy, his father is about to kill him. Not just one way, two way, three way. Every day he has a plan to kill him. That means at every moment there is a difficulty in his life. Now, in the midst of all those difficulties, what is Prahlad Maharaj doing? He's absorbed in the process. Because wherever he go, whatever he do, he's seeing the Lord. He's seeing the Lord in the tree. He's seeing the Lord in the water. He's seeing the Lord in the sky. He's seeing the Lord in the plants. He's seeing the Lord in the animals. He's seeing the Lord everywhere. He's seeing the Lord in every living entity. At every moment he's seeing. So when he's able to see the Lord at every moment, no, obviously, whatever he's doing or whatever he's aspiring for that, whatever he's doing, that all that aspirations is not affecting the external situation which he has. Now, for example, the external situation, we might not have a job, right? which a lot of people in this material world, they're fired, which is quite normal thing. We can't do much other than feeling sad for them. But if I feel sad, that is not helping the other person also. I can pat them, but that is not the real solution. But the real solution is, if a small problem is coming in our life, and job is not the only thing. Some might have family problems, some might have health problems, some might have financial problems, some might have relationship problems, different kinds of problems. So through all of these problems, and Lord will not give all the problems at the same time. Sometimes He gives as per, not the Lord technically is giving, the material nature is giving. But in this problem of Prahlad Maharaj, Acharyas again and again tell us that that's not the problem of Prahlad Maharaj. That is not a problem for him. But from an external perspective, when we see, it's a big problem. Please understand this, dear devotees. Initially, that is not a problem. But here, technically, it is a problem. How is that it is one side it is not a problem, other side, how is it a problem? Because on one side, they're totally absorbed in the internal energy of the Lord. Now I asked the question. The question is, I'm asking the question here also. What is the question? Now, how is that Prahlad Maharaj not disturbed through that difficulties? And when we get these difficulties, we get so much disturbed. We cry, we lament, we feel that the world is about to end. There's something, there's some heaviness which is there in my back. We feel like that, and through that we get depressed. You see, a lot of people take on the counter medicines to sleep in the night. You go to Rite Aid or Walmart, you go to the pharmacy section in Walmart, you'll see so many medications for depression. You'll see so many medications to sleep in the night. Why? Because these small problems, when we begin thinking about them, Vishya vinivartante niraharashadehinam. That Krishna is telling on one side, if you cultivate knowledge about me, buddhi yoga, okay, at least first we need to develop the knowledge. Once we develop the knowledge, that knowledge will be transformed into realized knowledge. Through the realized knowledge, we will understand the greatness of bhakti. We ourselves will realize, and then through that bhakti, then we will move forward. Then we will develop a deeper relationship. But the problem is, when the knowledge is not heard through relationship, understanding that person who is we should know the person who is speaking also. We should know his in and out. We should know what are their goals and aspirations. If the person who is speaking is running behind money and then speaking about Krishna consciousness, that will not work. I am writing it down, dear devotees. Because Krishna never gives realization to that kind of a person who is not submissive to his heart. And when we begin here from that sources, there is no tangibility for us. Very example, even the hearing is also very important. That's why Srila Prabhupada says, poison, even that might be one drop. If it is mixed in milk, the entire milk will become poison. We cannot drink that milk. So what is that poison? The poison is a mentality. Mentality of what? To lord over this material nature on one side, and on the other side practicing the process of Krishna consciousness. That will never work. Eventually that person has to come to the association of pure devotee and then surrender to him. Then only he'll make progress. Otherwise, there is no progress in one's life. Just hanging around in the process. That will not help either. We might get some knowledge, but that knowledge will not bring us out of these difficult situations or circumstances. But if you see through the life of Prahlad Maharaj, it's not like just knowledge. Prahlad Maharaj is like realized. He's convinced, not even realized, dear devotee, he's seeing the Lord at every moment. Every moment he's seeing the Lord. So this on counter medicine, why people are taking this? This is the reason. They can't sleep. The moment devotee, when he hits the bed, he sleeps. That's it. Maximum 5 to 6 hours. That's it. That is more than enough actually. Because he has service. All the other time he has what? Service. Service what? Service to please the Lord. So this aspiration, when we understand this, then there is no question of problems in one's life. Problems are coming means it's an embracement. We should embrace the problems. Because devotee will actually do that, embracing the problems. That is a core principle, and that is a core philosophy which our acharyas wanted to give us. Because when we become strong in the heart, then our association will be pure. We don't want to hear anything else other than Krishna consciousness. That state should come. Otherwise, this material nature is it will take us different rights. So many places it will take us. And then on one side you see the low, right? Now after few months, the health will be improved. One will get the job. One will have better relationships because he's working on it. And then he's free from all the problems. Okay, then what happens? High will come. Matra sparshasya kaunteyasyita ushna sukha dukha agamam painam nityam tantitisya bharata. That means there is low tide, there is high tide. Through low tide, they get depressed. Through high tide, they become pride and arrogant. He thinks that he is doing it. He thinks that he is the master. He thinks that he is the controller because he's earning, he's making a livelihood. Because in both the situations, he is the only person who is doing it. That is why on one side he's depressed and on the other side he's elated. This is the nature of this world. Completely perplexed. Because there is no relationship, na. Arjuna was perplexed, but his perplexity was immediately removed off. Just like on one side, Srila Prabhupada says, "Oh, Arjuna is doing great. He's speaking great. He's actually doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want property also." And on the other side, Prabhupada says, "Oh no, Arjuna is not doing right because he's not following the instructions of the Lord. Both are right because it has been spoken by a pure soul." Now another question comes: why one should hear from a pure soul? Why not all the people of this world? Because the first and foremost thing, they are free from these four problems. How are they free from the four problems? They are free from the senses. They are not illusion. They don't cheat. And then they are not in completely bewildered state. They don't have imperfections, so their senses are not imperfect because their senses are completely given to the Lord. Govinda is what? Govinda is not just the person who actually gives pleasure to Govinda. Govinda means go means cows. Not just go is also senses. That means he gives pleasure to the senses also. That's how devotees come out of sense gratification. Because Krishna is giving that happiness, that pleasure through the senses. Because that is a relationship. One cannot give this up. One cannot, that is the whole point why people do not give up this materialistic propensity is this. Because This materialistic propensities are giving some kind of happiness, and that kind of happiness, we are used to that kind of happiness. That's why it becomes difficult to give it to give that up. So on one side, Prahlad Maharaj is doing great because his only shelter is that Lord and his associates. But here, dear devotees, actually, please give me 1 second. 1 second. Just give me one moment. Hare Krishna. Sorry about that. So, the Lord is so merciful, he sends his devotees to establish that relationship. Because Prahlad Maharaj was so convinced on the words of Narada Muni that even when Narada Muni comes in front of Prahlad Maharaj and then he glorifies Hiranyakashipu, Narada Muni glorifies Hiranyakashipu. At that state, Prahlad Maharaj, he never doubted. Oh, Narada Muni is also glorifying. He never doubted. He understood his heart. That as a norm only he's doing it. He's not doing out of anything. Then he continued. He never turned back. Never turned back. Even if the Lord didn't come for the next 1,000 years, but Prahlad Maharaj would have grown up. Next 1,000 years, still he would have continued the same thing. Nrsimhadev came when Prahlad Maharaj was a child. But even if Nrsimhadev wouldn't have come, he would have done the same thing. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Atmanivedam. He is the one who gave this in Bhagavatam. That's his realization. That's his. Because he heard from his mother's womb only. Not after coming out. He heard from his mother's womb. He heard the entire Bhagavatam. He learned everything. All the sciences. Then he applied. This is what we need to aspire. This is what we should do. Because for our problems, everybody will get problems. Who doesn't have problems in this world? We should accept everything. Everything we should accept. Every problem which is coming in our life, we should accept it. The only difference between the conditioned soul and the pure devotees is they accept every situation in their life. Because they know they are seeing the presence of the Lord at every moment in their life. How? Through the instructions of the Acharyas. When the instructions are followed, then obviously we will see that. Just like how Prahlad Maharaj has seen. Then another question will come, oh, if Prahlad Maharaj was able to see, Can't we also see? Prahlad Maharaj was seeing. Why can't I see? Don't we get that desire? Get that desire. When we are absorbed in it, a natural question will come. Why? See, if you ask any person in this world who has little understanding, no Krishna conscious, they will tell this. How Prahlad Maharaj was able to do that and the others are not able to do it. They would immediately say that Prahlad Maharaj is doing it because of devotion. Then another question will come, why the devotion we are not taking it? Then the answer is so many attachments of this. Why those attachments are there? Are those attachments helping us? They would never help us. Those attachments will help us to keep in this world. But those attachments will never help us to come out of this world. There's a difference. Attachments are there, but attachments do help us only to keep us bounded in this world. We are already bounded. It's like a mirage. The happiness of this world is like a mirage. You would say, oh, there is water when we are very thirsty, and then we run towards the mirage, and then found that there is no water there. It's only a reflection. Now, the moment I see the mirage, that itself gives me happiness. That kind of happiness is this material world. The happiness in this material world is like that. It's only like that mirage. It seems to be there. But after completing the activity, we get an understanding that this happiness was never there in that. A lot of people will tell me this. I went to a restaurant. I thought that this is a great place. And then I go, after eating that, I understood that, oh, it's not great. That means initially the thought, what it gave, the thought gave that happiness. But after going there, completing that action, that satisfaction was not there, which was there before. So the satisfaction, which is little satisfaction, is given by the material nature because to keep us, it always gives that little thing. Why? To keep us here in this world. That is the only thing, that is the only propaganda this material nature is doing in this world to keep us here. It's only little, dear devotees. That little thing, when we cross that little thing, then we will make a lot of progress. That little hurdle, that little hurdle we should strive. The mirage is there. From here, I'm thinking that yes, definitely, technically, there is water. And I feel satisfied because I'm thirsty. That means I'm looking for that thing. And then I found it. Later on, I will realize that there is nothing in that. Just like the first time when we came to US. The first time might be 10 years, 20 years, 25 years for some people. The first time when we came to US, when that visa was stamped, we were happy. Who is not happy? The first time you're going to a country which is so well established, which is everything. And then the moment you enter into that, then the picture changes. The happiness which we thought initially was not the happiness which we are seeing later, which we are experiencing later. So many people told me this answer. Yes, from initially we thought that it was happy, but later on when we came there, it is not. There's no happiness. It's just there. We're just there, but there's no satisfaction. But an allurement was there. I'll give another example. For example, you have a problem. You have, let's say, a small problem. Let's say health is not good. Okay. Excuse me. Let's say the health is not good. You know what? Even though we are there at office, or even though we are at home, or even though we are good, we are going somewhere, that's always there in the background. When that is there in the background, what happens is it actually taking our entire consciousness. It is pulling our consciousness completely. It is not allowing us to think anything else other than that. It's not allowing us to do anything else. Even though doctor prescribes us so many things to do, but still there still is there that is still there in the background because it is not yet cool. It is not yet cured. So, dear devotees, at this moment of that bewilderment state, if one takes shelter of the acharyas and then follow their instructions, then there is no bewilderment anymore. We don't have to cry for these petty things of this world. It looks petty. It looks what? It looks petty because it doesn't have a substance or an existence. It's a problem, but that's not a problem. Simultaneously, one and different. Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated this. It is there, but it is not there. Simultaneously, one, it is also different. Just like if you take one drop of ocean water, and then if you see the composition of that, and then if you compare it to the ocean composition, it is same. That one drop composition, the quality of one drop, the amount of salt which is there in that one drop compared to the ocean, it is same. That means qualitatively both have salt. But when you compare it to the quantity, it is different. One drop is never equal to the ocean, but it has some qualities. One drop also has salt, the ocean also has salt. So this simultaneously one and different, one can see in everything of this world. The problem is there. The problem is there, but that's not a real problem, but that's a small problem which can be solved pretty soon, easily, or the problem might, or I have another problem, which is death, which I do not have a solution, but I have more important than that. What is that? I'm not that. I'm neither that small problem, I'm neither that death, which is a big problem. I'm neither this, I'm neither that. I'm something else where I've been kept in that situation, but I'm not that. That means if I'm something else, if I've kept in that situation, I need to deal that situation rather than bog down to that situation. Now, how does one deal that situation? By simply accepting that situation. When a person accepts that situation, his consciousness actually improves. He's not depressed. He's not baffled up. Rather, his state of consciousness improves. Now, that acceptance, that is the greatest hurdle. That is a hurdle in the life of devotees, practicing sadhakas. That is a hurdle. What is a hurdle? Should I take it or not take it? Should I take it or not take it? Should I do it or not do it? Oh, I don't do this. No. They're saying that I should do it, but I'll not do it because I have some other attachments. So this is all the struggle which is happening in this world, especially in the life of sadhaka. Because anyhow, the materialistic person do not have any understanding. They think that, oh, now I'm depressed. I'll take something. So they'll drink some wine or have some association with women, so that he would come out of the depression. Temporarily he'll come out of the depression. Tomorrow morning again he'll face the difficulty. A lot of people would go and pat the cow. Why? To come out of depression. Not that they have devotion towards cow. No, if I pat it, my health will improve. If I pat it, I'll be free from depression. So the motive intention is itself incorrect. But a person at every moment when he does it, for the pleasure of the Lord. That is the highest state actually. But slowly, when things are manifesting in our life, we should begin embracing them. That only comes through relationship. There is no other way, dear devotees. Jnana will not help, karma will not help. These are all cheaters. They cheat us. Hare Krishna. I think it's already time. I'm gonna stop here. Does anyone has any questions? Would like to add anything? Any comments? Would like to share? Because it is important, dear devotees. At every moment we face difficulties. As a nature. And then how are we seeing those difficulties is what matters. Very important. Hare Krishna. Because even when we see through the life of devotees, we discuss about Prahlad Maharaj, but every devotee you see in their life there are difficulties. But what are they doing is unimaginable. Because it depends on the amount of faith they have. It depends on the amount of relationship which they have. It all depends on that. So this human form of life is to establish that relationship. There's nothing else in this world. Everything is dependent on that only. But now our life, we are bringing Krishna, but we are not. We are trying to bring the Lord into our situations. But rather, what we should do is we should go to Him, irrespective of our situation. That becomes devotion. My dear Lord, I belong to you. This state should come. This will only give satisfaction. This is because this is the only natural propensity of the soul. There's nothing else in this world. Nothing else will give satisfaction to the soul. The soul is Sachit Ananda. The propensities, the activities or actions which we are doing is totally different. Totally different from that. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone would like to add anything? Otherwise, we will stop.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful morning message. Yeah, as you rightly mentioned, it has become a business, Prabhuji, but at least they are going to the cows. At least it's good. But yeah, I have seen like here, it's business for coming and cuddling the cows and all. But we look at them as sacred, mother cow. But I'm thinking, Prabhuji, at least that is good. They are giving some. But I know the Prabhuji. What you mentioned is it will not help them much. But yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare
It's
Krishna.
only a pious activity or it's only an action which will help oneself because he's always thinking about himself.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Our acharyas, they're so selfless. They're not thinking about themselves. They're not thinking what's going to happen, because they have that. They realized that state. Then they're leading their life in that way. That's why dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajanayana gatasya pantha. The more we aspire for this, which is one should only follow the principles of dharma, which is given by our acharyas. That is a go-to shelter for us. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai Hare Krishna, then Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for the wonderful lecture, Prabhuji, and thank you for the wonderful bhajan from CV last Prabhuji. I will now sit to Mitamari.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. जय विश्वमदा परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्री श्री श्रीमर इस भक्ति वृंद महाराज श्रील प्रपार की जय
Jai.
ISKCON Tampa श्रील प्रपार की जय
Jai.
जय विश्वमदा परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्री श्री श्रीमर भक्ति सिरंत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रपार की जय
Jai.
नंद कोटि वैष्णव की जय
Jai.
नमाचार्य श्री दास ठाकुर की जय
Jai.
प्रेम से कौशिक कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री वित गराधर शिव सरि गौर भक्तिवृंद की जय
Jai.
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोपीनाथ षण्मुख राधा गंगरी गोवर्धन की जय।
जय
जय
श्री मायापुर धाम की जय।
जय
श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय।
जय
जय
श्री जगन्नाथपुरी की जय।
जय
गंगा माया की जय।
जय
यमुना माया की जय।
जय
तुलसी देवी की जय।
जय
भक्ति देवी की जय।
जय
श्री राम संकीर्तन की जय।
जय
समर्पित भक्तिवृंद की जय।
जय
नित्य गौरी ब्रह्मानंद हरि हरि बोल।
हरि हरि बोल।
All glories to some devotees, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा
All glories to some devotees, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा
All glories to some devotees, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा
All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Namam Vishnuvaraya Krishna Mishtaya Bhutale Shamiti Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Bhajarani Nirvishesha Sunivari Pashrati Shitarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Vitakara Shri Visari Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pankam Lamkadagiri Kripadamaham Bande Shri Guru Dintanam Paramaranand Bhadam Shri Chaitanya Ishram Kurve Gaurachindarara Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Vanjika Prabhusha Kripasme Evchapatitanam Pavane Bhavashne Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, everyone. Have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Hari Bol.
हरि बोल। हरि बोल। करीना माता जी की जय। सुगुण गोपाल प्रभु जी की जय। रमे
Om
प्राण
Jai.
जी की जय। ऑल
Jai.
डिवोटीज की जय। जय श्री
Jai.
राम प्रभुपाद।
Om
Krishna
Shivlas
Prabhupada. Hare
Prabhu Ji ki
Krishna.
jai.
Jai.
Thank you.
हरे
और
कृष्ण।
डिवोटीज की जय, दंडवत
जय।
प्रणाम।
दंडवत
श्री
प्रणाम।
प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय।
जय।
Hare Krishna, everyone.
हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Prabhu Ji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।